Morning guys, I'm looking at a Goodman split system here and I'm in my shop and I need to build a return plenum for this air handler. So we're going to take a look at how I do that. A couple of guys wanted to see how I build the metal fittings. It's real simple. I don't do anything fancy. I just do what I can do here in my little shop to get that done, and I'll show you what I do. I have this Goodman ARUF 37 D14. ARUF 37 is 3 tons. The D is the chassis size, 22 by 24. So we take it and we see that, well, it's like 21, sorry. 21 inches this way and a nice 24 and a half this way. So I'm going to build it so it'll go onto the return end of this air handler, but on the end it'll come down and flange out and you'll screw directly into the return. So it's going to be a couple inches shorter than this dimension. So if it's 21 by 24 and a half, I'm going to make it 19 by 22 and a half. So the flanges, the 1-inch flanges, will extend out to the edge of the unit, and I can use that to screw those in and tape it up real neatly. First thing I have to do is measure. This is a 3x8 piece of metal, 26 gauge, beaded. Now the beads are there so it'll stiffen it up. Our measurements here are, I'll come out and do 19. I'm going to do 19 by 22. There's our 19, I add 22 to get to 41. 19 more to get to 60. 22 to get to 82, and a 1-inch flange that I can put into an S-lock when I fold it up. Now I'm going to make those same measurements on the other side and draw my lines across so I can break it along those lines. Guys, I use my S-lock here as a straight edge. I'll hold it down and mark this ending, then I'll cut it off with my shears because that's the unused section of this particular piece. I use this drill, it's Ryobi, with my Malco TSHD shears. It works really well, really easy for me, and it's a lot better than the nibbler I used to have, and it's more compact and more mobile and lighter, believe it or not, than the nibbler. I have my lines drawn, you can see them. A little difficult to see. See them right there. Right there. Don't show up very well, but they are there. I'm going to cut little notches, V-shaped notches on the end of each line to make it easier to bend flanges and to get the end cap in once I'm done putting it together. Guys, I have my notches cut into it. You can see on both sides. So, and I have my lines there. So I'm gonna get it ready to feed into the brake so I can bend it around and then I can put it together. The metal slides right into the brake. You can see it here. Slides right through. You just line up your marks here. And what you'll do is when you line up your marks, you'll take it and clamp it down. Now this is obviously not lined up. I'll have to straighten that up. You clamp it down here. You clamp it down here. And then you'll pull this up to do the brake. So I'm going to go ahead and back the camera angle off, let you see it from a distance while I'm doing it.
Sometimes it's simple beauty, where all God's gifts reside, a reflection of a smile, a sin we recognize. Through time we waste endeavors, making castles of our lives. Lovers pass unnoticed in the maze we have contrived. And all the dreams we had have vanished. All the things we broke condemn us.
There's our piece all bent around. I'm going to put an S-lock down this joint here. We'll screw it together. And then we can bend the flanges over on the top and put the end cap on the other side. Here is our S-lock. 2 pieces fitted together, screwed 3 times. So now we can turn it up on its side and put S-locks all the way around the end. And I'll fit them on each side. We'll get an S-lock here, here, down here, and over here. Then I'll show you that, and then we'll cut out an end cap with flanges on it to fit down into that S-lock. We have our S-lock on each side of the top of the fitting, or end of the fitting, however you want to look at it. We measure the distance between each one of those to double check. The distance we measure on the 2 sides here, we go from inside the S-lock to inside the S-lock. We have 22 here, and I'll show you what these other marks are, by 19. What we do is we add a 1-inch flange to each side to sit down inside that S-lock. So all I do when I make my 22 by 19 measurement is I add 1. I go 1, then add the measurement, then add 1 more. Then I draw another 1, add the measurement, and add 1 more. Then I can make my lines. And the same with the other dimension. Add 1 for the flange, take your measurement, and add 1 more for the flange on the other side, then draw your lines. I'm going to cut this out, and when we're done, we'll cut through here as well, because when you bend the flanges over, you want a little bit of room on the edges to fit around the corners of the box. So you'll basically cut it in like this once you cut out this giant square. I have it all cut out. I cut the notches out. You can see the notches I cut out right there on each corner. Now what I need to do is get my folding tongs and take each one of these and bend it up 90 degrees all the way around. Then we'll be ready to fit into the top of this fitting. I'll push those flanges down into these S-locks and screw them off. I'm using my 6-inch tongs. These are Malco. I've been using these since I started in the business over 20 years ago. Not this particular set, but the same brand and style. See, the handle fell off of these. It has electrical tape on it. So, I don't know how old these are, but they've been around for several years. I have a folding bar, but I just don't know where it is at the moment. That's alright. These work fine. Folding bar makes a nice clean bend, but these will do the job just fine. Of course, you can use Ralph's folding bar too, which is this. That works fine too. Alright, we're all folded now, so basically I'll take this, flip it over, put it in the top of that fitting, and we'll screw it off. Start lining up on one corner, feed it around. This will give the fitting a lot of rigidity. Now that we have it like this, we can screw it off. I'll go ahead and put a couple screws on each side, and then we can bend the flanges over on the other side. Here we have our fitting up on the table. So I'm going to take along through here and bend these flanges up 1 inch back all the way around. It'll give it a lot more rigidity as well. With the end cap on, it gets a lot stiffer. With these flanges built up at 90 degrees, gives it a lot of strength then, which is nice. And then we'll pretty much be done with it, besides sealing it up and wrapping it with insulation, which I won't put you guys through. But I'm going to go through each one of these, bend them up, and then we'll basically be done with building this plenum. We have our end right here. And you can do it one of a couple different ways. The bending bar works real good for this because of the awkward angle, and you're not laying it flat against the table. But I line up my tongs with the 4th groove. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 grooves on the side of the tongs, and about 1/4 of an inch per groove. Since I'm bending 1 inch, I'll go into the 4th groove, which is 1 inch. Bend them up. This is where I missed my bending bar, because it works really good for this. It's a little rounded there. Not too bad. You could use something like this. Let's see how this works. We'll use the Ralph method. Take it out. That actually works pretty good. Similar to the bending bar. Pretty good. Fit it up there again. Tap it on there. Get it up at a nice 90-degree angle. Not perfect, but pretty darn close. Good. Flip it over one more time. And this is just standing S-lock. S-lock that has an extra little piece built into the end there, it's all it is. And this is 26 gauge as well. Works good. So we have a flange on the end now, all the way around the end. This will fit up to the air handler. The air handler is tall, so it'll fit up like this. That's how big this air handler is. The Goodman's air handlers are huge. So this will fit right onto the end. Screw it from the end and tape it. Should be pretty easy.